Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not
We will bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Is that correct?
Dati mihi Anglican po rin, Service Latin. I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for Trump's sake.
Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Hope you had a fabulous, albeit short, lunch. I will tell you that I went to a Walmart trying to get my spicy maple bourbon pickles and found they no longer have them on the shelf. And so I did what any reasonable person would do, and after I threw a childlike tantrum, kicking and screaming on the floor, I determined that I should try the next best thing. And they had some Better Good brand spicy maple pickles. And they are not the same. They are the same price, the jar is half the size, and they are not the same. So if you want to join me in a boycott of Walmart nationwide, no, just kidding. I need to find where the pickles went. Where are the pickles? Thank you, sample user, first in chat. This live stream is the best. Appreciate you. Anyway, I don't know who won the internet today. I don't know. Luckily, the pickles are still available at Food Lion, which is actually much closer to my house, and for only, 10 cents more. And it's the same jar. Like, it's made the same. Everyone knows they make them the same place, and they put different labels on. So I can still get them, just not from Walmart. So, all right, 'twas I, says Greeners, congratulations. Greeners won the internet. And in addition to all your other duties, Greeners, if you can find out where the pickles went, that would be great. Please, I need some. You're standing? Why are you standing? Have a seat. Okay, maybe I messed something up. Hang on one second. The seats were not We're not functioning quite right. I'm just gonna bounce everything. I'm gonna turn it off and back on again. That usually fixes everything. So I'll give it a try. Why is this? Quit that. I don't want that anymore. Okay, now they're working. And there's a 50% chance I'm going to be first in chat. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. Recovery Addict was the first chatter. Been first 20 times. See, what happens is when I turn it on, it gets triggered by a command, and then my response is the first chat. So, all right. Like the difference between Kroger brand versus ketchup versus Heinz. No, Heinz is actually better. Legally Blonde. I'll die on that hill. Heinz is better. I love Heinz ketchup. It's there's a teensy, something's different about it. You can tell by the coloration. Hold up to you can see. Plain as the nose on your face. All right. We're going to pick up where we left off because we're half an hour behind, and we are on 1.25 speed. We're catching up. Greeners, congratulations, by the way, on your great win. I appreciate you being first in chat, taking the load off so nobody else has to. Really, you're taking one for the team is what you're doing. We are a Whataburger ketchup household. Oh, you can't go wrong with that either. It has a tang and a thickness. Here. Heinz lovers unite. Also not a sponsor, but Heinz hit us up. We'd consider it. Has anyone made their own ketchup? I'm not sure if that's legal. I don't know. I've never done it. I imagine I wouldn't like it as much if I saw how it was made. It's sort of like hot dogs, right? All right. Let's go. Let's go. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting around here, guys? Let's go back to court. What in the wow? My ears. Good grief. Yeah. Tell me about it. I mean, I was quick on the response there, but rest in peace, headphone users.
The state of Georgia versus Matthew Scott Lanz, 22-00922. Present in the open courtroom of the court, the clerk court reporter, Mr. Lanz, represented by Attorney Jimmy Berry, and the state is represented by Assistant District Attorney Grady Horowitz. Good afternoon, everyone. Is there anything we need to put on the record before we proceed?
Not from the city, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. And it was ADA Green. We can continue with your direct.
The judge has fabulous hair.
Your witness.
She forgot the word. Your person.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Sergeant. Kind of blow through a lot of these a little bit quicker here. Looking at states 101, what area of the house are we in? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, we are standing on the side of the couch, closer toward the fireplace, looking into the kitchen.
States 102.
That's in the kitchen, looking toward the dining room, and that's a desk area there inside the kitchen.
States 103.
Now we're looking at the island in the kitchen, still with our back to the couch.
States 104.
Now to the left of the island, the range,
States 105.
and now to the far left side of the kitchen.
Just sounds like somebody's got the kettle on in the background and is whistling. Do you guys hear
States
that?
106.
That's a dog food bowl.
States 107.
And it looks like a children's table with a bench and a tote there on top.
States 109. Is this that same area?
It is, yes.
Okay, and how are the blinds for that window looking out onto the patio?
They're partially closed, we'll say.
States 110.
Now we're looking through the kitchen into the dining room.
States 112.
That's back in the kitchen looking at the desk area. You can see the laundry room in the background.
States 113. Were there items of value in this area?
Yes, you had Amber's purse, you had a diaper bag there, you had an iPad.
Do you recall if there were keys to the justice truck in this area?
I do believe there were, yes.
Did any of that seem disturbed or rummaged through or anything?
No, it did not. It appeared to be in order.
States 116 here. Who did that backpack belong to?
The black backpack that we learned belonged to Justin Hicks.
Once again, was there anything rummaged through with the backpack?
It did not appear so, no.
States 117.
Now we're on the far side of the kitchen island here. Looking at that would be the back of the house is what we're looking at.
States 118.
Again, and kind of focusing in on that open lower cabinet.
Okay. And what is it that was located near that open cabinet?
We have one more shell casing.
States 120. Well, probably not this one. Let's do this. States 122. Is that the casing?
Yes, ma'am.
And states 123. That kind of zoomed into that area.
Yeah, correct. It is.
We'll circle back to that in a little bit. Looking at states 124, what area are you now kind of heading towards?
Heading back toward the laundry room of the home.
Now, looking at the hinge that's barely seen in states 124, is that the same door we see in states 125?
Yes, it is. That's the garage door.
And what was on the garage door in states 126?
That's a child lock.
States 127, what was being photographed here?
It's the ADT alarm panel.
States 129. Is this how it displayed at the time that officers arrived on scene?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, it is.
States 130, what was found kind of on the floor in this bottom right quadrant as well as closer to the laundry room?
There's dog feces.
States 131 here.
And now we're continuing past the door that we were just speaking about and looking into the laundry room.
States 131 here. What did you have on that door?
Another child lock.
That was seen in 132?
Correct.
All right, and inside that closet, what type of items were inside?
Household clean, that's where you keep like your vacuum, your mop.
And that's looking at States 133. States 136. What was inside the laundry room?
Obviously, you have a washer and dryer, and it appeared they were getting their Christmas decorations out to decorate the house.
Once again, did anything within the laundry room seem rubbished with?
It did not, no.
States 137. What door are we looking at here?
So we're in the laundry room, and this is the door to the side door of the home where we saw the delivered package was.
States 139. Is that a zoom of the same door?
Correct, and again with the same child lock, we saw all exterior doors.
And what about the blinds?
They were closed.
Kind of backing up a little bit here, looking at States 141. Remind us what door this is.
That should be the door into the garage.
States 140. What are we looking into now?
Now we're looking out into the garage.
Stonehouses, thank you very much for dropping in and saying hi. Thanks for your 8 months.
States 143.
Now again, we're continuing into the garage. We saw a fishing boat. Obviously, you see a bicycle, a lot of totes, some children's toys, children's bicycle.
Were there valuables within this garage?
Yes, there were.
Was anything taken?
No.
States 149.
Now we're looking back into the dining room. So this is the walkway between the kitchen and into the dining room. We see Jacob's high chair there.
States 151 here.
Again, continuing in the dining room. That's the open front door you see.
States 152 here. What is the, like on the banister, these white things that you can see?
That's where you attach a baby gate for the stairs.
States 153. What do we see here?
There you go. That's the other side of the attachment for the baby gate.
And from where this photo is taken, like what would be behind your back?
The front door, directly behind.
Looking at States 154 here, where, again, kind of what is the vantage point of where this photo is?
Okay, so where we just were with the stairwell, this is going to the left. And so you're going to be walking into the main living room. Also, you see Justin's feet lying there. We have the children's fire department hat and the fire truck that we talked about earlier.
The States 155, that kind of zoomed into that area?
Correct, it is.
All right. And from looking at States 157 here, did that little Tice fire truck block the walkway to get kind of around that corner into the kitchen area?
It did, correct.
States 158, what door is this?
That's a bathroom door.
States 159, what did you find from within the bathroom?
Okay, so this is just off where we were looking at where that child's fireman's helmet is, just to the left of it. The guest bathroom downstairs there. Obviously, the bathroom was a mess, which was different from majority of the home other than the toys. The toilet paper holder had appeared ripped off the wall. It's like they probably put in the toilet at some point and then removed from the toilet, and several children's toys lying on the floor in there. I believe there were a couple of books, a plushie toy, hand puppet. You see the little lawnmower there.
Okay, so States 160 and 161, is that zooming in on those kids' items?
It is, yes ma'am.
And then you also mentioned the toilet paper roll looking at States 162. Is that what we see pulled off the wall?
Correct.
States 163 here. Tell us a little bit, well actually, let me show you States 164. Tell us a little bit more about kind of the toilet paper and how it appeared.
Yeah, it obviously had gotten wet and then was strewn across the ground there. Our assumption was obviously the closest source of water was the toilet, so rather than pulled off the wall, put into the toilet, and removed from the toilet.
States 1, and by the way, States 164, was there anything actually in the toilet?
Not that I can see.
Okay. No clogging or any sort of mass objects?
No, nothing like that.
States 165.
That's the sink in the same bathroom.
And states 166 here. What is kind of being shown in terms of
So it's showing
location?
the proximity obviously to the living room where the deceased were located. So the bathroom is right there on the left, right before you walk into the living room.
States 167.
Now we're looking at the door frame there going around it and a foreign substance that we photographed on the wall.
Now kind of backing up just a little bit, we're looking at 169. Where is this office located in relation to the front door?
Directly to the left. So what you see here on the left-hand corner is actually the front door open. That's the keypad down there. So if you came in through the front door, the stairwell is directly in front of you. This is directly to your left, and the bathroom is on the other side of it there.
States 170.
Yep, we're looking now inside the office.
States 173.
Now we're looking at the floor of the office toward the front of the home, and it's the backing to an electronic device laying on the floor.
States 175.
That's a close-up of the backing of the electronic device.
We'll circle back to that in a moment here. Did you all go through some of the drawers in the office?
Yes, we did.
And once again, did it appear anyone had opened those drawers or gone through them?
No, they all appear to be in order and organized.
States 178.
This is we're looking at the front door, and then that would be the office directly there to the right.
States 180.
There's a liquid that we believe to most likely be urine, probably from the dog.
And that is from other areas of the home as well.
It was.
States 181.
Now we're looking at the front door is closed. That's the dining room to the left where you see the luggage at.
And once again, was there a baby lock on the front door?
Correct. The same baby lock we saw on all the exterior doors.
And the blinds on the side, what was...
They're closed.
States 186. What was located kind of on the stairs?
That's a label maker, which we were able to match up to the backing found on the floor of the office.
States 193 and 194, are those close-up images of that same item?
Correct. That's the label maker on the stairs.
Did y'all know how it may have gotten there?
No, but we knew that Jacob had been alone in that home for several hours, so our assumption is the same way the toys were moved about, the label maker was probably moved there by Jacob.
Looking at States 187, what do we have open here on States 187?
The baby gate is open.
And looking at States 189, how has that baby gate been moved by you all for documentation purposes?
That's in it. It is in the closed position there.
Now, when you all and officers arrived on scene, was that open or closed?
That was open right out there, and from what I recall from the responding officers, they also found it open.
Making our way upstairs, what are we looking at on the floor in States 196?
That is another baby gate lying on the floor.
States 197?
There's the same baby gate.
Now, does this one have the same sort of blocking mechanism that the one on the bottom of the stairs had?
No, it appears to be the type that wedges in between two banisters.
States 198, whose bedroom is this?
No, we're now in Jacob's bedroom.
States 199, what kind of bed did Jacob have?
That's a toddler bed that obviously allows him to get in and out on his own.
States 200.
Again, looking at his bedroom and his toys and his bookshelf there.
States 201.
And then continuing around to the other wall.
What was significant to you about kind of his toys and how his room appeared compared to the downstairs?
Everything was in its place. It was a very clean bedroom. The toys were all, and the books were all organized and put away, and nothing was strewn about. Obviously, we have downstairs where there's toys spread out everywhere, pulled off the shelves.
States 202, what's this here in the corner?
It's a humidifier and the baby monitor.
States 207.
There you go. That's the baby monitor.
Was this the corresponding baby monitor to the actual monitor downstairs?
Yes, there's the one lying on the couch next to Amber's right arm.
States 203.
It's a diaper changing station.
States 209. Did y'all find any blood stains or anything indicative of Jacob getting back into his bed at any point in time?
No, the upstairs did not resemble the downstairs home at all.
States 211.
This is looking into Justin and Amber's bedroom from the hallway.
States 212.
Same now, just turning to your right.
States 213.
And then continuing into the master bedroom.
This house was immaculate.
States 214. Was there a bed made?
Yes, it was.
States 215.
A dresser inside of the master bedroom.
We can see that at least two of the drawers aren't completely closed. Did it appear clothes had been strewn out or unfolded or anything within the drawers?
It did not. The drawers appear to be organized.
States 216.
This is entering from the bedroom into the master bathroom.
States 217.
It's the master closet.
States 218. Where are you starting to zoom into here?
There's a handgun sitting on top of that safe.
States 219. Is that kind of a zoom in of that gun?
It is.
And then what was the item back behind this gun?
I believe it was a love letter.
States 220. Is that a copy of that letter?
It is.
Okay, and what was the date?
It shows November 16th, 2021.
And why did this letter matter to you all from November 16th of 2021?
Obviously, that's one day before when we know the crime to occur, but it's a letter that it appears Amber had written toward Justin. It showed what appeared to be a healthy marriage and happy marriage.
Based on your analysis of the scene, were you able to identify any obvious leads?
No. The scene was unique in that someone obviously had been being Jacob, a 2-year-old, inside of it alone for several hours. That's not normally how we would come upon a scene like that. We had a large amount of time, even not knowing really when the actual murders occurred, to when we located the scene. So we knew what we were looking at was most likely not the original state of the scene.
Now, I wanted to kind of go back for just a minute here. Going back briefly to states 282 and 283, whose phone is depicted in states 282 and 283?
That is Amber Hicks' phone.
I'm going to show you state 605. We put this one in yet. State 605. Do you recognize state 605?
I do. It's marked as a white Apple iPhone belonging to Amber Hicks.
Is that the phone that we see in states 282 and states 283?
Yes.
Is that collected on scene?
It was.
And likewise, this has one of the biohazard stickers. Why is that?
Because it also had what we believe to be a bodily fluid, most likely blood, on the phone.
State is tender state 605 in evidence.
Objection? No. State 605 submitted.
Well, I'm grabbing a couple pictures. I'm going to hand you states 602, 603, and 604. Do you recognize those packages?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how is it that you recognize states 602 to 604?
They're marked as each being a spent 9mm shell casing.
Okay, and how many were collected on scene?
3 were collected on scene.
And are those what I've handed you there in states exhibit 602 through 604?
Yes, they are.
And are those the 3 casings that we've also seen in photographs previously?
Yes, they are.
Statements to tender state 602, 603, and 604 in evidence.
Any objection? No. State 602, 603, and 604 admitted.
I want to go back and kind of look at this case a step back. Based on the scene here, you said how many casings were recovered?
3.
And were they all 9mm?
Yes, they were.
And you mentioned looking back at states 221. Where was one of those casings found?
We have one that was found just inside the baby gate area.
We'll start with the casings. We'll go to the projectile in a minute.
Sorry, yes, we're talking shell cases. If you could show to the left here is where the dog bed is. So it would be just at the feet of Justin.
That would be 602.
This is 221.
I almost forget the defense attorney's here. Doesn't object too much, doesn't ask much.
All right, let's look at 84 at the same time. So looking at 84, you said one was behind the dog bed.
Correct.
Okay. Where was the other one?
So we have one behind the dog bed, one underneath the trampoline that you see in the background there.
Okay. And then where was
the third one was in the kitchen, near that open kitchen cabinet.
States 119.
Correct, right there. That would be the third shell casing we found.
Now, based on your review of the scene and impression, did it appear that those 3 casings were all in their original position, meaning where they would have fallen when ejected from the firearm?
No, it did not. I think the one behind the dog bed could have been, based off where the victims were and where they were shot. The one at the trampoline and then also the one in the kitchen, I don't see how that could be where they landed when ejected from the gun. I believe they had to have been moved.
And kind of walking through that slowly, looking where Justin's body came to a rest there, well, let me back up. I apologize. Let me grab one more photo. Were you able to make any sense of State's Exhibit 96 here?
There's a reasonable explanation for why that defect is there.
Can you explain how you might get this particular defect in State's 96?
Yeah, I believe from when we recreated the scene that it's most likely from the projectile that passed through into the right side of Justin and passed out through his left side of his abdomen. The other ones, I don't see how any of the other rounds that were through gunshot wounds could have struck that floorboard there.
With respect to Amber's body positioning, did it make sense to you at all that a bullet could have gone through her body and landed in this baseboard area in States 96?
No, I believe the couch, we would have seen damage on the couch where that would have occurred.
And so did that leave you with looking at Justin's gunshot wounds?
Yes, it did.
And which was the only one that was through and through on Justin's body that it could have ended up hitting this baseboard area?
So that was the one that entered his lower right side and exited out the left side.
Now, had he been standing approximately where he came to arrest here, can you get kind of a trajectory that would continue on in this direction?
Yes, I believe he was standing where his feet were, and his body was turned to look over his right shoulder toward that broken window. I believe it is possible that that round could have entered through his right side, out his left in a downward trajectory, and struck the baseboard.
Kind of in this direction where my pen
Yes, ma'am.
placed? So was it your belief kind of being there on scene and being able to really see from the vantage point he was standing at, I guess, what does it seem like he was doing at that time?
At that time, it appeared that he had stood, I don't know if he had stood up from behind the couch, if he was already standing, but it appeared he would have been standing and then turning to the right to look back toward that broken window when that round entered through his right side, out his left side, and struck the baseboard.
How did the neighbors not hear this? I mean,
Now, given that you have this defect here in the baseboard that we see in States 97, was there any, did the projectile go all the way through that drywall?
No, it did not.
So would you have expected to find a projectile very close to this area?
Yes.
Looking at the projectiles in this case, where is it that you found the only projectile that could have correlated to that defect in the wall?
Just on the other side of the baby gate that you see there.
Is that looking at States 88 here?
Yes, it is.
Really close up one. States 91, is that what we're seeing also in States 88 and 89?
Correct, it is.
How could it have gotten to this particular area where States 88, 89, and 91?
I think it's very likely it was moved by Jacob, since we have so many things moved around. That does not appear to be its natural resting position.
And what else was close to that projectile?
Yeah, we got a pretty large shard of glass there.
Did it seem that that was an unnatural placement from where that shard of glass originated from?
It does.
You can tell how effective
Now,
a lot of
the
these
other
investigators,
projectile, if you recall
officers
that
were.
one, do you remember where that one was?
Yes, the other projectile would be lying on the couch in between Amber's right arm and her right hip.
Did that seem like a more natural placement and have come to arrest where it actually came to arrest?
It did, yes, ma'am.
Those guns are made for silencers, so you can
So
use
how many
them.
total projectiles were recovered on scene?
2 were recovered from the scene.
And ultimately, how many projectiles did y'all end up with in the case in total once the autopsies were conducted?
5 total.
So 5 total projectiles, but only 3 casings?
Correct, 3 cases.
Now, we saw that and talked about the fact y'all moved the couch, you moved the rug and so forth. Is it possible you all just didn't find these other 2 casings?
It's always possible. I don't know if we have searched harder for them. I think we even disassembled a Roomba that was inside the house looking for it. We searched everywhere we could possibly search to look for those shell casings and could not locate them.
The way the officers used the first name of the child.
Is it possible those were picked up?
Yes, it is very possible they were removed from the scene.
They're connected quite closely to this case.
And based on kind of Amber's positioning, was there any evidence that she ever really moved off the couch?
No, it did not appear so. Her positioning appeared more natural than Justin's did.
I know you mentioned that there was at least 1 handgun in the closet. Were there other firearms in this house?
I believe there were, yes, ma'am. All in that upstairs closet, I believe.
And to the best of your knowledge, were any firearms taken from the residence?
Yes.
Well, meaning from whoever committed this crime?
No, not in a theft manner. Sorry, collected by us, yes, not in a theft manner.
I want to talk to you about Jacob Hicks. When you went out there on scene, was he still there?
Yes, he was still there. He was with his grandparents when I got there.
And how did he appear?
He was in his pajamas, which were covered in blood, a considerable amount of blood on him.
Prior to testifying, did you have the opportunity to look through states 306 through 320?
I did.
And did you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
And how did you recognize those photographs?
Those are the pajamas that we took off of Jacob.
Are they fair and accurate pictures of how his pajamas appeared after he was removed from the residence on November 18th of 2021?
Yes, they are.
State of the Tender states 306 through 320 into evidence.
Any objection? States 306 to 320 were admitted.
May I publish?
Yes.
So first looking at states 306 here, what side of the PJ are we on?
So this is the front side of them.
Okay. And what do we see in this area of the legs?
Yeah, a significant pattern of blood in the, I would say, like the knee area of the pajamas.
Okay. What about on the front of the shirt?
Yep, same as well. Quite a bit there on the chest and then shoulders, arms.
State 307, is that a zoomed in photo?
Yes, it is.
All right, state 308.
Yes, again, looking at it.
State 309, I know some of this has somewhat of a glare.
Yes, we're still looking at the blood stains on the pajamas.
State 310.
Again.
Skipping ahead to states 315, what do we see here?
So these are the pajama pants looking just inside the waistband. Obviously, we see blood on the inside and outside, it appears.
States 317.
This is now the back side of the pajamas. And we have blood that more or less corresponds to how the front of them were. We've got blood on the front, the back, the inside, the outside, all over them.
States 319, is that kind of a zoomed in view?
Correct, that's the back side of them.
What was significant to you about the blood and the location of the blood on Jacob's pajamas?
I think what I took from it is that transfer was not from one time of touching his deceased parents. To me, to get that amount of blood in the places that the blood is would indicate that Jacob most likely crawled on his parents' bodies after they had been killed, which probably explains why the toys were placed in the manner where they were on them.
What about kind of this area that's like under the arm and on the back side of the arm?
Correct. Even in the underarm there, like you're talking about on the back side, both of them as if possibly he could have just wrapped his arms around an area of his parents that was bleeding.
Were there any injuries to Jacob that would have caused him to have his own blood on his jammies?
No, he had no injuries.
Now, do you recall by the time you got there whether the blood on Jacob's jammies was wet?
By the time I got there, I don't. He did not. Obviously, that stage is when they were taken back to the lab and photographed. So that's much more dry than we were there. So it was more wet than that. Yes.
Do you remember whether it appeared like super fresh versus having been on his jammies?
No, it appeared it had been there for a while.
We were about half an hour behind. We're on 1.25 speed, catching up. Which will take us, 2 hours?
Now, did you also kind of take additional exterior photos on a separate day, or I should say, supervise that process of taking additional photographs on a separate day?
Yes, the following day on the 19th, myself and another crime scene technician went back to the home. By the time we had finished processing the scene that day, it was very dark on the 18th because we were in the early morning hours of the 19th. So I wanted to go back during daylight hours, get some more overalls, and then to search the area with metal detectors to see if there's any evidence, such as the missing shell casings that we could not find. Because my thought was if the perpetrator could have removed them and dropped them while running, maybe we could find them.
Prior to testifying, did you have the opportunity to look at State's Exhibit 608 through 641?
Yes, I did.
And are those the photographs that you just referenced?
They are.
Are those fair and accurate photographs of the ones you all took on November 19th of 2021?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Statements to tender State 608 through 641.
Is there any objection?
No.
State 608 through 641.
Another big
We'll make
batch
this
of
very brief here, but looking at
photos.
State 610 here, where is this photograph being taken from?
This is the front of the home on the street.
We can see these ones.
And within these photographs, looking at 616, did you also document some of the additional sensory floodlights?
Yes, we did. We went around and documented anything, essentially security-wise, around the home.
If we slow it
That
down,
example there in State 616.
Correct. That is.
We're gonna have to work
You're looking
really
at the
late.
corner to the left of it's the front of the house. Obviously, this is the garage door to the right of us.
you can slow it down on your
Looking
side.
at State 621 here, what was the purpose of this view?
So that's standing where that trash can is the driveway. So the cars would be to the truck would be to the right of us. I'm standing in the backyard, attempting to show how much coverage there was from the backyard, how difficult it would be to see someone in the backyard from the roadway or a neighbor's home.
To slow the scent down on your end, you click the gear button
And
and
similarly,
click on speed.
looking at State 626, what was the purpose of
How
State
fast you
626?
Again, we're just deeper into the backyard here, but we're looking at these floodlights that are mounted on the corner of the home.
In State 627, what are you starting to get close to here on the right side of the
We're going to start getting to that sunroom. It's going to be coming up on the right-hand side. You can see the Justin's black truck there on the left. And you can see the motion light is actually on from me standing there.
State 629 here, and it's a little bit hard to see, but what is kind of through these bushes?
From where we're standing, we're looking through the backyard at the house directly behind, which is the Lanz residence.
State 629 to 631, is this kind of a continuation photo?
Yes, it is.
And so here we can see a vehicle through the bushes. What street would that have been on?
Believe if I'm looking through that way, I don't want to speak on that. It could be Opinion, but I'm not sure what that cross street is running right there.
State 632.
Again, we're just showing the heavy amount of tree coverage and foliage that kind of made a little backyard oasis there. There was no seeing in or out of that.
And then State 636 and State 637. What's being documented here and from what vantage point?
So this is standing on the driveway to the left there. So standing out on the street, looking into the backyard of the Hicks. So this would be the visual from the neighbor's home right there or anyone driving by.
And then State 640 here. whose house is this still in the corner on the left side?
That would be the Hicks home.
So is this looking towards their kind of back door neighbor?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Now, while y'all were out there, were you able to locate any casings, firearms, cigarette butts, anything of value?
No, we did not locate any evidence outside on the secondary search call.
I think that is all that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Attorney Barry, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, sir.
You indicated to us that you had a team, there were a number of people with you that went out and did the search.
Yes, sir.
And how long had you been a crime scene technician at that point?
So I was a supervisor for the crime scene technician. I have had the training, but that's never been my full-time job. But at that point in time, I have been supervising that unit since 2019.
Okay. And how many crime scenes have you processed at that point?
I don't know how to tell you that. I can tell you that on average, I probably responded to anywhere from 20 to 30 homicides alone a year. So leading up to that point from 2019 up to 2021, probably at least 60 homicides alone.
Okay. Was the dog still there when you arrived?
The dog was not loose inside the home, but I believe the dog was still there, yes, sir.
Okay. And was the dog barking at you when you got there?
Not at me, no, sir.
Had you been given information that the first officer on the scene, the dog was loose and barking at that point?
Yes, sir. We had been told that by those officers.
Let's talk a little bit about what you saw when you initially got there with the broken glass. It's double pane glass.
Yes, sir.
So it doesn't shatter quite like just a regular pane of glass.
Correct.
Fair to say.
Yes, sir.
And it came out in pretty good sized chunks.
Yes, sir, it did.
The majority of the glass was on the inside, on the floor area where the little slide held down.
Yes, sir.
But we saw glass that was kind of all over the house.
All over the main floor, yes, sir.
And you indicated the child didn't have any cuts on his hands or feet?
Not that I saw, no, sir.
So is it your belief that the child moved that glass to the different areas, or how do you account for the fact that the glass got moved different places?
Yeah, my belief would be either the child or the dog would have had to have moved. I don't know how it could have got to some of those other points. Obviously, some glass can stay on someone's clothing with movement, but not the amount of large pieces that we saw that far away from the entry point.
Okay. And one of the shell casings, I want to go through because I'm a little confused as to which shell casing belongs to which one of your documents. So,
Okay.
Let's look at shell casing 602. Where did that one come from?
You want to know exactly which location in the home?
Correct.
It's going to be tough for me to compare a state's exhibit number to our internal reporting. Obviously, it just says that it's a 9mm spent cartridge with a Ruger head stamp recovered from the Hicks residence. But the GDI, that's ATF, Department of Justice stamping on it, does not tell me the exact location.
So we don't know where shell casing 602, 603, and 604 were located, correct? We just know that they were found in 3 different locations, but we can't compare that to where they were.
I cannot do it sitting here. I'm sure it can be done from looking at our internal records, but no, sir, I cannot do it sitting here.
Okay. One of your jobs and responsibilities is to look for potential fingerprints, handprints.
Yes, sir.
And did you do that?
Yes, sir, we did.
And what areas did you test to see if you could find any fingerprints?
I know that we obviously concentrated quite a bit on the entry point, the window right there, the window sill, a couple of larger pieces of glasses that we thought could possibly have any type of valuable prints on them. And then anywhere else inside the home, the crime scene technician would see fit, but the majority of it was focused on that back window, and I believe we did the back door as well, wondering if someone attempted to open the door, seeing if it was unlocked before breaking the window.
Okay. Were you able to locate any fingerprints?
Not of identifiable value, no, sir.
Okay. And you identified the entry point, which you believe is through that window that was broken.
Yes, sir.
And you believe the person exited through that same?
I do believe that, yes, sir.
Okay. But they could have opened the door and locked behind them.
Yes, sir. The doors were locked when the first uniform officers responded there. So if the door was locked behind them, Now, I do believe the ADT report does not show that door opening. I don't recall directly, but I'm pretty sure we have a report from ADT that shows it was not open until the responding officers opened it.
Okay, which door would that hit?
The door, if you're looking at the broken window, the door directly to the left of it, so the back patio door.
What about the front door?
The front door does not show any activity until obviously police officers are there going in and out.
Okay. So did the ADT report show any door anyone had exited?
No, sir.
And you were not able to see that window, what amount of glass was still in the window when the first officer arrived?
No, sir, I was not.
When you arrived, you told us that the Christmas tree lights were on.
Yes, sir.
Christmas lights. Was there a light on in that playroom?
I don't believe there was one, sir. It was daylight by the time I got there, but I don't remember there being one on.
And do you recall whether there were any lights on in the living room where the TV was?
I do not recall. Only the TV. I do know the TV was on, but no, sir, I do not recall any other lights on.
So we don't know exactly which lights may have been on.
Correct.
All right. In order to bust one of the windows, the double pane glass, you got to hit it pretty hard.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to locate any instrument that may have been able to knock that window out?
We did not find anything at the scene, no, sir.
No rocks or sticks or anything of that nature?
No, sir.
If you used,
Could have
say,
used
a
a
butt of
sand
gun to do that, would there normally be glass that would be embedded somewhere in that gun?
Normally there would be, yes, sir. If it's a polymer gun, obviously if it was metal, probably not, but a polymer gun, yes, sir.
Did you ever send the gun that was found that belonged to Mr. Lanz, did you ever send that to the crime lab?
I believe it was sent to the crime lab, yes, sir.
And do you know whether there was any glass found in the handle or anywhere around that gun?
I do not recall any glass being found there, yes, sir.
Did anyone look at that Adirondack chair that was there on the back? It looked like it was askew from where it should be. Anybody look at that to see whether it had any damage to it that may have been used?
We did, yes, sir. It was a plastic chair, so we weren't sure how effective it would be, but we did pick it up and look at it to see if possible. We did not believe it could be possible.
Okay, not able to determine whether, in fact, that may have been used.
Correct, sir.
The gate going from the little play area there into the living room, it appeared as though that it was pushed down, but pushed down from the living room area rather than pushed back towards the living room.
Correct, sir. That's the way it looks like it fell into the playroom.
Okay. The person who entered and fired the shot, would they have had to have gone past that in order to fire the shot?
Yes, sir. I believe they would have, yes, sir.
All right, so they would have had to step over the gate.
Yes, sir.
The first shot, can you, in your calculations there, can you tell where the first shot was fired from?
No, I cannot, sir.
Okay. But the person would have had to have come in, stepped over the gate to have fired the shot, the second shot.
That's how I interpreted the crime scene, yes, sir.
Okay. Was there any other report from ADT that aided y'all in any way? I mean, do they have an alarm system?
Yes, they did, and it showed, yes, sir, motion activations, doors, yes, anything like that, yes, sir.
Okay. And did you see anything in that ADT report about the motions outside at any particular time?
Not during the window of the crime, no, sir.
Okay. So there's not an alarm, and when the window gets broken, there's no alarm that goes off?
Yeah, we did not see a glass breakage, and I did not see that on the ADT report, no, sir.
Okay. It does appear, it looks like that the window was broken from the outside in, however.
It does appear that way, yes, sir.
And the shell casings, the 3 shell casings that you found being in different areas, I think you indicated that you believe they may have been kicked around by Jacob the dog. Don't know.
Yes, sir. Responding officers, anybody, but the only one that I believe appeared to be in a natural resting position is the one behind the dog bed.
Okay. Because you believe that would be close to where someone may have been standing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other 2 shell casings, you believe that there were 5 shots fired?
Yes, sir, we did.
I didn't find any other bullets that entered the wall or anything of that nature where there may have been more than 5 fired?
No, sir, we did not. 5 was what we determined to be.
Okay. So 2 shell casings were missing.
Correct.
And do you know from what area those may have been missing from? In other words, if the first shot was fired, you believe it was more than 1 shot fired initially before one got over the gate?
I think that most likely the mission shell casings will probably be in front of the couch area, between the couch and the fireplace. That would be my assumption, in between the deceased and the fireplace, somewhere in that area.
The state asked you about the possibility of somebody carrying them off, or a lot of things could happen.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, Jacob could have picked those up and flushed them down the floor.
He could have.
Okay. If you were going to pick up 2, if you knew that there were 3 more, it makes sense that you want to pick them all up. Right?
Yes, sir. He's 2 years old. It's a shiny object. So I would think he would be inclined, yes, sir, to pick them all.
If you were the one doing the shooting, if you wanted to pick up 2, you would naturally want to pick them all up, would you? Too?
I think if time allowed you absolutely would, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That was actually good testimony for the defense to get out that that Jacob, the child, could have flushed the casings down the toilet. One of the charges is that he took the evidence from the scene.
Take any of that foreign substance, have it tested. You know what that may have been?
Yes, sir. We sent 3 from 3 different locations in the home where we believed could have been blood based off foreign substance. 1 in the kitchen from the kitchen floor came back as positive for blood. 1 came back as inconclusive, and 1 came back as negative.
Okay. So from the positioning of the bodies in the case, you believe that the first shots were fired initially coming into the house. Because one naturally would, if they're sitting on the couch, going to jump up if you got a loud bang like a glass breaking.
Yes, sir.
You want to jump up and see what was going on.
Yes, sir.
And then the person entered through the window and initially then fired the shots.
Yes, sir. That's how I interpret it. It would most likely be that first shot that I believe struck the floorboard passing through Justin from right to left.
And then moved on into the house over the gate.
Over the gate, yes, sir.
Now, was there anything else that you found in the house other than the shell casings and the projectiles? You've already indicated that there was no fingerprints. Didn't find any cigarette butts, didn't find any DNA of any kind inside the house.
Correct, sir.
And this ADT, I noticed there were lights that would come on if you get a certain distance to the house. You know what that distance would be?
I do not know what that is. I know that I activated all of them as I ran around the home, but no, sir, I didn't test the distance.
Okay. And is there a light that's affixed close to where the broken window is?
Yes, sir. There's one on that side of the house.
Okay. So that probably would have come on first.
I would think so, yes, sir.
Did you have an occasion to go back over to the house other than, you went over on the 18th and went back over on the 19th? Were you ever called to go back over there again?
I was not, no, sir.
And did you ever go over to the Lanz house to do any forensics at their home?
I was not a part of that search, no, sir.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any reason to follow up with direct?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Winsby, excused.
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Can I have a approach? You can sit down, Ms. Excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now we approach again for a scheduling issue. We're going to zoom because we can. We're trying to catch up.
Okay, we'll stand in recess until 2:40.
They have a little bit of a break until 2:40, which is 15 minutes ago. We're now halfway caught up. That's nice.
Can you want me seated?
We're back. Break's over. He does believe that there's a grand conspiracy that he's been set up. It's Georgia via Matthew Lanz, accused of shooting to death husband and wife, leaving their 2-year-old child in the home.
All right, we're back on the record. The state of Georgia versus Matthew Scott Lanz. All parties are present. Can I please have the attorney's approach one moment?
Oh, yay. Another approach.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Wait. Sorry, missed it. There we go. Okay, break over. Approach over. The Defendant is in yellow, not the tie.
You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Sure.
Thank you. You may proceed.
All right, sir, how are you employed?
Work for the Cobb County Police Department.
How many years have you been with Cobb County Police?
Over 10 years.
Back in 2021, what was your assignment with Cobb County Police?
I was with the Major Crimes Unit.
Are you post certified?
Yes, I am.
Now, you were the first detective to have testified from major crimes. What specific crimes did y'all investigate?
Any crime against the person that was not a juvenile, so homicides, robberies, sexual assaults, aggravated assaults.
Now, additionally, whenever a major case came in, such as an armed robbery or a murder case, did you all work together as a unit?
Yes, quite often we would work 2, 3, sometimes the whole unit would come together and work on individual cases.
And was that true for this case involving the murders of Justin and Amber Hicks?
Yes, it was.
I want to go ahead and direct your attention to November 19th of 2021. Were you involved in this investigation on that day?
Yes, it was.
Hilda B.,
Back
thank you.
then, were you still a detective of crimes against persons?
Yes.
How is it that you became involved on November 19th of 2021?
So Detective Standard and Detective Jackson were the lead investigators on this case. November 19th, we were notified, the unit was notified from Sandy Springs that Mr. Lanz had been involved in, or that he was in custody after a burglary and an attempted murder of his family.
And where did Mr. Lanz's parents reside?
600 Delphinium Boulevard in Hackworth, right behind, it's the house directly behind the business location.
Is that in Cobb County?
Yes, it is.
And so despite having a different street name, do they kind of share a property line, those two residences?
Yes.
Did you end up going to that location of 600 Delphinium?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of going to that address?
So after Sandy Springs had Mr. Lanz in custody, I believe it was an analyst, had been watching the news, realized there had been a homicide, realized Mr. Lanz's residence was right behind the incident location, thought that they might be connected and notified us. After some digging, we were able to confirm that it was his residence and I think it's a search warrant for the address.
When you say his residence, who actually owns that residence?
Scott and Teresa Lanz.
And what is their relation to Matthew Lanz?
Parents.
Now, do you remember if it was daytime or nighttime when you went out there?
It was evening. It was dark.
And prior to testifying today, have you had an opportunity to go back through some body camera of other officers?
Yes, so on that search warrant, we had SWAT and our Viper team, which is our violent crime team. They assisted with the search warrant.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We had our SWAT team and our Viper team,
Right.
like the snake. They're our violent crime unit. They assisted with the search warrant, did a knock and announce, and then Scott and Teresa came out. SWAT cleared the residence, make sure there were no other occupants. I believe it was Officer Jones with me when I spoke with Mr. Lanz's parents.
Back when you were a detective with crimes against persons, did you all customarily wear body camera?
No, we did not.
Okay, so with Officer Jones, are you captured on Officer Jones' body camera speaking to Mr. and Mrs. Lanz?
Yes.
Okay, when I say Mr. and Mrs. Lanz, meaning Scott and Teresa Lanz.
Yes.
Okay, have you had an opportunity to review Officer Jones' body camera footage that you were depicted in?
Yes, I have.
Is that a fair and accurate recording of your interaction with Scott and Teresa Lanz from November 19th of 2021?
It is.
At this time, State moves to Tender States Exhibit 460 in the evidence, which is Officer R. Jones' body camera.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
States Exhibit 460, 460 is admitted.
I'm going to slow this down while they do that.
Make sure the camera's not pointed at the video here. And for the record, we will begin playing this at 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Once we switch over. Yes, please.
They warn us not to capture it.
In the back, master closet, go through the bathroom, broken, or in the repair, so you get into that closet, and straight against the wall in the back is our gun set. We took the rifle and 2 guns that they had, that I lost one of the records. Yeah. Okay. There, we bought a safe, we put that in there. Okay. The gun that we found in Matthew's apartment yesterday is up the stairs in the right closet. Okay. On the left rack closet, there's you'll see men's clothes. Yes. There's a sport jacket, a blue sport jacket. Okay. And it's in the pocket. There's a second floor. Is there key or combination? I don't, 3 times. No combination. I wanted nothing to do with that other than to get them off. I'm assuming so. We got nothing to hide. We got nothing to hide. Yeah, exactly where one is. Saw one of his apartment yesterday. He was sitting all. His apartment's in house? Yes. Okay. Yes. And you guys let other I work in D.C. Oh, do you? Yeah. Okay. Teresa called me about what happened here. And I just said, we got to be careful, we don't know what's going on. Where is Matthew? What's he doing? First freaking thing, for some reason, it came to my mind. And she went over there, and I guess he was sleeping at 3 o'clock. I got a flight from D.C. back here at 6. And my other daughter picked me up there. We went over there and tried to have a chat with him to just point blank level with us to say, was he involved or was he not? And he was very, very, very sketchy and wouldn't answer. He said, Dad, I didn't murder anybody. But I was not convinced. There was suspicion. Apparently, he came home, he said. I talked to him twice a week at least. And he said, well, I'm coming home Tuesday night. This is for Wednesday night. This is Wednesday. He just said, I'm Brad. I said, what are you doing? How's it going? He said, I'm just at the gas station. I'm going to fill my car up, bring my computer and work from home this week. I said, great. And he never showed up here. My wife did here. Our dogs will bark at the simplest things. And that led me to say, you got to go see him. And if we have any sense, we've got to consider that's okay. He goes to school there. So Detective Jackson and Detective Stan will be obviously asking him to explain all that. Sure. My concern is location of the file. I know exactly where. I just told you exactly where it is. There's nothing in mind. We have a little gun safe from the other 2 handguns that they bought, and a rifle that I think I got from this. I lost with them when they were. When's the last time? 15 or 16. We're sure that they were there. Last week. Yes, sir. Good. There's two whatchamacallits, you named a couple of different guns. The one up in the breast pocket, in the breast bag. I don't know anything about that. 2 locks in the safe, and the one in the pocket is pulled off on that. Guilty. Okay.
for the record, that'll stop at 21 minutes. Now, Detective, some of that was a little bit hard to hear, but can you help in terms of the timeline as laid out by Scott Lanz? In terms of, I guess, when was it that they went to Athens?
It was the night prior to us executing the search warrant.
Okay, so that would have been November 18th.
18th, correct.
And was that the same day that Amber and Justin had been located?
Yes.
And who was it that they were going to see in Athens?
There's some Matthew.
Now, there was mention in there about something about they taking 2 guns they had, and he then clarified his sons. How many sons does Scott and Teresa Lanz have?
2, to my knowledge.
And what is the other son's name? If you recall.
Austin.
Okay. And was he still living at the time of this in November of 2021?
No, he was not.
Were Scott and Teresa forthcoming with you regarding the gun that they recovered from their son Matthew Lanz?
Yeah, so when they came out of the residence, I explained to them that the neighbors had been murdered. They advised that they knew. And I also advised that Matthew had been involved in something in Sandy Springs. I did not go into detail. I told them that other detectives wanted to interview them back at headquarters. It was cold out, and Teresa began to, sorry, this mic keeps going in and out. Teresa began to cry, and so we asked if she would be more comfortable sitting in a patrol car or a detective's car. So she was in the car while I was speaking with Scott. When I did ask Scott the questions, he was very forthcoming with the answers.
Okay, and so where was it specifically that he pointed you to regarding the gun he received from Matthew Lanz?
So he gave me 2 locations. There was the gun safe in the master bedroom closet, and then the one that they took from Matthew from his apartment in Athens was at the top of the stairs. There's a closet on the right. When you go in the closet, there is a rack of clothes on the left, men's clothes, and then there's a blue sports coat hanging in the midst of all the other clothes. The gun is in the sport coat pocket.
And did you actually find it in that location?
Yes, I did.
All right, were photos also taken throughout the search warrant execution?
They were.
Okay, I'm going to show you what you and I have previously gone through, but you can flip through them again. States Exhibit 321 through 459, as well as 484 through 527. I know you've previously gone through them, so do you recognize those stacks of photos?
I do.
Okay, and were those photos taken on the evening of November 19th, 2021 during the search warrant execution at 600 Delta?
Yes, they are.
Are those fair and accurate photographs of that search warrant execution?
They are.
State goes to tender states 321 through 459 and 484 through 527.
Any objection? Any objection?
No, Your Honor, I've had an opportunity to review all of those, so we have no objection.
Thank you. States Exhibits 321 to 459 and 484 to 527 are omitted.
Thank you, May I publish?
Yes.
This case has a zillion pictures in it.
We won't go through every single one of these, but looking at states 322, there's a bad glare there. Maybe hand this one to you for just a minute. 322. What are the cross streets that are being documented in states 322?
It's across street of Ravina Drive and Delphinium Boulevard.
States Exhibit 324 here. Which residence is being documented?
That is 600 Delphinium.
And so the street in front of the house is which street?
The street that the front door of the house is on is Delphinium, and then the street where the garage is Ravina Drive.
States Exhibit, and if that microphone is giving too much feedback and you just want to talk very loudly, I don't think that'll be a problem as long as you speak up.
No.
right, states 325.
That is the front side of 600 Delphinium.
It's actually a little better.
States 326.
That's the mailbox.
States 327 here. So what street does this driveway empty into?
That would be Verdina.
States 328.
This is inside the residence of 600 Delphinium.
States 331. What are we looking at here?
That's also inside the residence. It looks like a family room.
States 334.
This is like the main area of the first floor. It appeared that the house was being like renovated or under construction, so there was construction stuff and
Walls haven't been painted yet.
items just kind of scattered everywhere.
Just drywalled in.
Stage 335.
This is the kitchen.
Looks like a nice stove.
Stage 337.
It appears to be the dining room or some kind of breakfast nook.
Stage 338.
It's a couple refrigerators and some appliances. I don't remember if those were actually in the kitchen or not, or if they're removed because of the renovation.
Stage 339.
It's just a hallway going further into the residence.
Stage 340.
I believe that's going back towards the garage.
Let's see, states, let me go back really quickly. So states 339 here. Do y'all go down this hallway?
Yes.
Okay. Unless.
There's a bathroom there.
Yeah, so states 334. Is that the back and we can start to see?
Yes.
Alright. And then states 342. Are you continuing down that hallway?
Yes, going up flight of stairs.
Jump ahead here.
Yeah, they're doing the feng shui thing a little bit wrong here.
And throughout the search of this house, did you find any documentation with Matthew Lanz's name on it?
Yes.
So was it clear that this was in fact his family's residence that he spent time at?
It was, yes.
Going. Stage 407 here. Is this the same kind of small flight of stairs we see previously?
Yeah, this is above that first landing.
Okay. And then stage 409 here. What are we looking at in stage 409?
So this is inside the closet that Scott Lanz had directed us to, where the gun was located. So if you go out that door, immediately to the left, the stairwell, yes, the stairwell is back, kind of coming along that wall.
I don't understand why he hid that gun.
411 here.
That is the sport coat that Scott referenced.
Stage 412, what do you start to see there?
That's the mag well to a semi-automatic pistol.
Stage 413, is that the same magwell?
They're like doing this slow zoom
All right,
effect with
stage
pictures.
414.
There's the grip to a
Calvin Klein
firearm
suit.
and some paper.
Could you tell once you looked further what that paper was? Let's see, let's look at stage 416.
Yeah, it's the like the ceremonial brochure for the Kennesaw Mountain graduating class. I can't see here.
The Mustangs.
2018.
High school graduation?
States 418, did you all remove that firearm from the jacket pocket?
Yes, I did.
All right. That's
in a holster, too.
States 418.
Yes, that's my hand with the firearm, and it's in a holster.
States 420, did you take it out of the holster?
I did.
States 422, what type of firearm was that?
It's a ZEV Technologies OZ9.
Okay. States 423, can you see better there as well?
Yeah, this is the other side of it.
Mm-hmm. States 425, do you all also have a zoom in so that you can document, the serial number there?
Yes.
Okay, what is that serial number?
Zulu Alpha 04909.
We're going to pass you States Exhibit 607 here. Do you recognize State 607?
That mic is just brutal.
Yes, I do.
All right, and how is it that you recognize State 607?
This is the firearm that's pictured in those photographs.
Okay, States 425, for example?
Yes.
All right, very good. And is that the actual firearm that you all retrieved from the sport coat in the Lanz's residence?
Yes, it is.
State moves to tender States Exhibit 607.
Any objection?
Okay.
States Exhibit 607 is admitted.
They're good guns. They're similar to a Glock. Oftentimes,
And just to be clear,
they make
was
Glock
there
modification kits too.
Was there any magazine inserted in that firearm?
No, there was not. There was a magazine located in another pocket of the sports coat.
So looking at States 427, is this the other side of the same sport coat?
Yes.
All right, States 428, what are you now kind of pushing out of that sport coat pocket?
It's a block magazine.
States 429, is that the bottom of that magazine?
Yes.
All right, States 430. What is being documented in States 430?
It's a
That is a Glock
40 cal.
40 caliber, 40 Smith & Wesson magazine.
It's for a different gun.
Was there any ammunition in this?
No.
Nevertheless, did you all collect it?
Yes, yes, we did.
That doesn't make
States
sense.
431. What are you documenting in States 431?
So that is the master bedroom closet, and on the floor you can see the gun safe laying down.
States 432 here, did Scott and Teresa Lanz provide you with the key or code?
I don't remember.
Nonetheless.
Actually provided it, but we did have a key and we were able to open it.
And is that documented in States 433?
Yes.
States 434?
Yes.
States 435?
Yep.
Now, did you all also open this bag?
Yes, we did.
States 436, is that being documented?
It is.
All right, States 438. No, the glare, not great.
There's 3 handguns in that bag.
And States 439.
Yeah, so there's
And some
2
knives.
Glock 40 calibers, an FIE 25 auto, a couple knives, and then what appears to be a suppressor.
Did y'all continue to document each of these items in detail as well as any corresponding ammunition?
Yes, we did.
Those holsters for those guns are designed to be worn clipped onto the belt, but the holster goes inside the pants. So the belt holds the gun against the body. It's a concealed carry type holster. It's not a duty holster. Not sure what that little gun is. Is that a
Now,
Beretta?
within this home in particular, did you find any SIG 9mm ammunition?
No, we found a lot of 223, 5.56.
Is that a silencer?
308,
That green next to the knives?
Specifically 6 Sauer branded 9mm.
It did have a silencer.
6 Sauer, S-A-E-U-R.
Thank you.
It is a silencer. What if it was permitted? They usually have like a $200 stamp tax you have to pay for a silencer.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to tender Case 461 into evidence, which is contained within the stipulation number 9 on our stipulation, which I'll go ahead and read at this time. Crime scene technician Malika Moore swabbed the Zev Technologies OZ9 pistol, serial number ZA04909, found by Scott and Teresa Lanz on November 18, 2021, in defendant Matthew Lanz's Athens residence located at 435 North Church Street, apartment 4, Athens, Georgia 30601, and collected by Cobb County Police on November 19, 2021, from 600 Delphinium Boulevard, Ackworth, Georgia 30102. States Exhibit 461 are the swabs from the pistol, which were then sent to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive Fire Forensic Science Laboratory for testing.
It's a mouthful.
Okay. The court has written in Exhibit 461 on the stipulation number 9, and 461 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then the last stipulation to read, at least in part at this time, is going to be Stipulation 8, statements of Scott and Teresa Lanz captured on Officer R. Jones's body camera contained in State's Exhibit 460 is admissible. Defendant Matthew Lanz is waiving his right to confrontation regarding these statements made by Scott and Teresa Lanz's parents. There will also be additional statements that we will fill in the exhibit number when we get to their more formal interview, but I just wanted that to be on the record at this time.
So the body camera is 460.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Great. I believe that's all I have for this witness.
All right. And defense, is there anything you needed to put on the record or stipulating sizes? Okay. All right, so Exhibit 460 is admitted, which is a part of stipulation number 8. All right, you may proceed, Attorney Gregory.
Sure, I also want to put one thing on the record. And we were going to object to State's Exhibit 461 through 485. State looked at that, they agreed that they would take those out.
So 461 was just admitted as the swabs.
We reused that number.
Oh, okay.
So originally, I think the numbers they had issues with were 460 through 483, which were removed from the large stack. However, given that we never even tried to tell them, we have used at least 2 of those numbers.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
I just want to be sure they weren't wrong.
Okay. Right, so 461 as admitted stands. Thank you. You may proceed, Attorney Gregory.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Who applied for the search warrant of the man's home? Do you know?
I believe I did.
You did? Okay. And was that based solely on the home invasion in Sandy Springs?
It was based on basically all the investigation so far, the information I've gotten from the other detectives, I would have to go back and read the probable cause statement to be exactly sure what probable cause is based on.
Okay. And I know we started the body cam video at 16:05. Do you recall what was on the video prior to 16:05?
So Officer Jones is attached to our Viper unit, and when the SWAT hits a warrant, Viper usually holds the perimeter. So initially it would have been him on perimeter, and then there was some conversation with myself and the Lanz's,
Okay.
which I explained earlier, telling them that the neighbors had been murdered. They advised that they were aware. Teresa had asked for a coat because it was cold out, so I offered her to sit in the back of one of the detectives' cars. And then after I did explain to him he was involved in something in Sandy Springs, but the detectives wanted to talk to them further about it and kind of explain everything that was going on. She had gotten quite upset, so we were able to get her into a vehicle. And that's pretty much when the video picks up when I'm talking with Scott. Yes, sir.
Were they cooperating with you, Lanz?
Yes.
Were there any objection to you searching their house?
No, sir.
Okay. And you indicated that you did not find any bullets there at the home.
So I did find bullets.
Not any bullets that would match the gun.
Correct. I did not find any Sig Sauer branded 9mm.
Okay. None in the magazine.
Correct.
And none in the home.
Correct.
Okay. Did anyone get a search warrant for his apartment in Athens?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and were you involved in that?
I was. I went and searched his apartment with other detectives, yes.
Okay. And did you find anything in his apartment in Athens of value?
Yes, but I don't recall what for.
Okay.
I didn't study for that portion of the state. I believe Detective Standard took that search warrant, so he would be better able to.
He would be the better one to ask.
Yes.
If you didn't document or you don't recall.
I was just there along for the actual search.
Okay. How many projectiles does this weapon hold?
So that depends on the magazine. The Zev Technologies pistol, I refer to them as like a Gucci Glock or
Gucci Glock.
Basically a Glock. They just had a lot of really good parts in them, and so it depends on what magazine. It is a full size, so it has to be a 17 round mag or more.
Okay.
It wouldn't hold like a compact 15 round mag or subcompact 12 round mag.
And the magazine that you found there in the pocket of the coat, do you recall how many projectiles that would hold?
No, I know it was for it was for a 40 count. Not to say that wouldn't work in a 9mm, but it would be much less reliable.
Did you do anything else in relation to this case other than the two searches, one at the Lanz home and one at Athens?
I responded to the initial scene, and I canvassed the neighborhood, talking with some neighbors.
All right. And did you collect anything yourself when you initially came? I guess it was on the 18th.
From which location?
From the when you went initially on the 18th.
Okay. No, I spoke with the neighbors, asked if anybody had like ring doorbell or any surveillance cameras, and then gave them a way to provide that to us. And then I assisted with the search of the Pickles residence.
Okay. When you talked to the Lanz, they indicated to you that Matthew did not come home the night that they thought he was going to. Is that right?
Yes, Scott had said that when he spoke with Matthew that he was coming home to do some studying or some schoolwork, and that he didn't believe that he had come home.
Okay. Do you recall, and this was about this time of year in November, do you recall what the weather was like then? Was it cold?
The night we were when the night I was speaking with the Lanz, it was chilly. I mean, I was wearing a coat.
And how about the 17th and 18th of both of those days? Relatively cold?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't really recall.
Okay. I think that's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Ayden, is there any follow-up or Recovery Act?
There you are.
Please witness be excused.
Yes.
Right? Thank you. You're excused. Thank you.
Are we going to look at him as he walks out?
All right, state, you can call your next witness.
State calls Dr. Zoha Ashraf.
He goes out the back door, I guess. So we've got an anniversary start date.
Follow the direction of the bailiff. Thank you.
Raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Thank you. Have a seat for me. Once seated, if you would please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
Zoha Ashraf, first name Z-U-H-H-A, last name A-S-H-R-A-F.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ashraf.
Good afternoon.
How are you employed?
I'm a medical examiner at the Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office.
Wonderful. What are your job responsibilities as medical examiner?
To determine the cause and manner of death in the county.
And what is the purpose or reason that you all determine the cause and manner of death?
For public health statistics, vital records, insurance, data, and also for law enforcement proceedings.
Are you all required to make determinations regarding cause and manner of death as part of the Georgia Death Investigation Act?
Yes.
And is that then reported to the National Center for Health Statistics?
Yes.
Right. And I know you mentioned sometimes it's also used in legal proceedings in criminal cases. How often or what percentage of autopsies do you perform are considered homicide cases?
About 4%.
So not many.
No.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your qualifications that led you to become a medical examiner for Cobb County. Can you please tell the court about your education, background, and training?
Sure. I had received my Bachelor's of Science in Microbiology from the University of Georgia. I completed my Doctorate of Medicine from the Medical College of Georgia. I completed a residency in anatomic pathology from the University of Southern California. And then I completed a fellowship in forensic pathology from the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office. And then I worked as a medical examiner in the Los Angeles and Riverside County medical examiner offices. And then I came here to Cobb County in 2022.
Between her voice
Riverside, is that kind of the neighboring county to Los Angeles?
Yes.
and the courtroom
Very
audio,
good. And I
it's
know this is
terrible.
kind of silly, but are you a medical doctor?
Yes.
Right. And are autopsies medical procedures?
Yes.
How many autopsies do you estimate that you performed over the course of your career?
Over 1,000.
I want to talk to you about two terms in particular, pathology and forensic pathology. Can you explain for the court the difference between those two terms?
Pathology is the study of natural disease, and forensic pathology is a specialized field within pathology where we focus more on the mechanisms of trauma.
And so does that include unnatural processes as opposed to natural? Right. In order to understand trauma and understand forensic pathology, do you have to have some understanding of the mechanisms that cause injury or trauma to the body?
Yes.
And does that include firearms and how bullets work?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever been tendered and received as an expert in forensic pathology?
Yes.
How many times, estimate?
Between 20 and 25 times.
At this time, I've been tendered Dr. Ashraf as an expert in forensic pathology.
Defense?
I'll ask questions of her later. I have no objection at this point.
Okay. And she will be so attended as an expert in forensic pathology.
Thank you, Your Honor. Doctor, can you first kind of walk through the autopsy process, just the basic steps to an autopsy?
Sure. First, I review the history, the investigative report, why the person has come to the medical examiner's office, why the case was reported to us. Then I proceed to review any medical records that are relevant, any radiology, and then I go to the morgue and perform my post-mortem examination of the body, which includes an external exam where I diagram all the identifying features, hair color, eye color, tattoos, scars, and then any evidence of external trauma or external natural disease processes, and then I move on to the internal examination where I identify trauma, natural disease by examining each vital organ. And then once that's all completed, I may wait for some additional testing such as toxicology, microbiology testing, and then I produce the final report and render a cause and manner of death.
Very good.
Sorry for that. And render.
Cause and manner of death.
And is that the same autopsy process that every medical examiner in Cobb County, at least, does?
Yes.
Right, and you mentioned that your job is to determine the cause and manner of death. What is the cause of death? And then we'll talk about what manner of death means.
Cause of death is what immediately killed the person.
Okay, and what about manner of death?
Manner of death is how it happened, and there are 5 categories of manners of death. They are homicide, which is death at the hands of another, suicide, death at one's own hand, natural, which are things like cancer, pneumonia, natural disease processes, accident, things like drug overdoses, car accidents, and lastly is undetermined, in which manner of death cannot be determined.
And because you're required to report all of these findings to the National Center for Health Statistics, is that why there is a specific category for undetermined?
Yes.
Okay. And again, you said homicide is approximately 4% in Cobb County.
That's correct.
I want to talk to you about the autopsies of Timothy, Justin Hicks, and Amber Hicks. Did you personally perform these 2 autopsies?
No, I did not.
Okay. Who performed these 2 autopsies?
Dr. Stacy Desmores.
And who is Dr. Desmores?
She was a full-time medical examiner at the Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office, but now she is medically retired.
Okay. And is she on permanent medical leave and unable to testify?
Yes.
Right. Nonetheless, did you work with her before her medical leave? Did you know her personally?
I did.
All right. Now, in situations such as this, where you have a fellow medical examiner who is no longer with us or who is medically unable to testify, are you able to perform independent medical reviews of the autopsy?
I am.
Okay. And in order to perform that expert review, what all materials do you look at?
I look at the investigative report, any scene photographs, any autopsy photographs, Dr. Desmore's autopsy report, the death certificate, and any other testing such as toxicology.
Do you basically go back through the various steps of an autopsy?
Yes.
Okay, and while you can not do the internal examination yourself, do you review the photographs and any radiology slides?
Yes.
Right, and so are you able to reach your own independent conclusion regarding a cause and manner of death in these occasions?
Yes.
And were you able to do that in this case?
Yes.
Did you generate your own independent report with your findings?
I did.
Okay. And did you bring your reports or any other relevant records with you?
I did.
Okay. If you need to refer to them, just let us know. What was the date of these 2 autopsies?
Both autopsies were performed on November 19th, 2021.
I want to start with the decedent, Timothy Justin Hicks. What was his age?
He was 31 years old.
Now, was he deceased on scene?
He was.
And whenever someone is deceased on scene, does one of your medical examiner investigators actually go out to the scene?
Yes.
All right, and are photographs taken?
Yes.
And did that happen in this case?
Yes.
And then do you also review crime scene photos that are taken by Cobb County police officers?
In some cases, yes.
And were you able to do that here?
Yes.
And then were there photos taken during Timothy Justin Hicks' autopsy?
Yes.
Were you able to review those?
Yes.
Were you also able to review radiology slides of his body?
Yes.
And did that also help you in determining path of travel of projectiles, for example?
Yes.
Now, with respect to radiology slides as well as photos taken during these autopsy processes, is that normal for every single autopsy, whether or not it's a suspected homicide?
Yes.
Okay. And then are those records maintained in the normal course of business for your office?
Yes.
Now, along those lines, I do want to go ahead and read a few of these stipulations, Your Honor. First will be stipulation 1, states exhibits 528 through 567 are true and accurate photographs of decedent Amber Hicks, her clothing, and a projectile recovered from her body taken during her autopsy. States exhibit 598 is the projectile recovered from Amber Hicks's posterior neck during her autopsy. States exhibits 569 through 596 are true and accurate photographs of decedent Timothy Justin Hicks and the 2 projectiles recovered from his body taken during his autopsy. And states exhibit 599 are the projectiles recovered from Timothy Justin Hicks' head and chest during his autopsy.
Attorney, as to stipulations 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's correct, Judge, and once we fill in those numbers that weren't filled in initially, I'll officially go ahead.
As to States Exhibits 528 to 567, those were admitted. States Exhibit 598 is admitted. States Exhibits 569 to 596 are admitted, and States Exhibit 599 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. So again, I want to stick with Timothy Justin Hicks for now. And admittedly, are some of these photographs kind of difficult for individuals to see if they're not accustomed to this type of work?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. We can switch it. Alright, States Exhibit 569 here. What is being documented on States 569?
Could you repeat the question?
What's being documented? What information do you include here on the body bag?
This is a photograph of the body bag. It includes the Cobb County case number, the decedent's name, and the seal number of the body bag.
Okay. And do we continue to see your Cobb County medical examiner case number on all of the photographs?
Yes.
Alright. States Exhibit 570 here. What is the purpose of the documentation?
This is a photograph of the seal intact, along with the case number.
Now, is it customary for the decedent to be documented exactly as received?
Yes.
All right. States Exhibit 571 here. Is that what we're looking at?
Yes. This is the body as it's received. The clothing is still intact and it has not been cleaned up yet.
States 572, do you typically photograph all the way down their body?
Yes. We usually take 3 photographs.
So States 572, is that kind of the second photograph that's normally taken?
Yes.
And then States 573, is that the third photograph showing the lower half of the body?
Yes.
how many injuries were documented on, and I'm going to refer to him as Justin Hicks, so on Justin's body?
He had 3 entrance gunshot wounds.
States Exhibit 574 here. What are we looking at in States 574?
This is what we call an identification photograph, basically a photo of the decedent's face with the case number and all the blood and other materials are removed.
And then do you again take photos of kind of the top portion, middle portion, and lower portion of the decedent's body after they've been cleaned?
Yes.
All right, States Exhibit 575 here. Is that the top portion of his body?
Yes.
All right, States 576, are we mid-range?
Yes.
And States 577, is that the lower portion of his body?
Yes.
Right. And you already mentioned that there were 3 visible entry wounds on his body. In order to kind of stay organized and document, do you label gunshots 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
Okay. Do those necessarily correspond to the order in which they were received?
Do you want me to speed her up?
So I want to
Might wake her
start with
up.
what you have labeled as gunshot wound number 1. Where was that gunshot wound?
This gunshot wound was on the right temporal scalp, basically the right side of the head.
States 578 here. Is that gunshot wound number 1?
Yes.
All right. Now, what have you done here, or I should say you, but what did the tech do in this case here so that they could better document this injury?
Usually with gunshot wounds that are in an area with hair, the area around the gunshot wound is shaved to better visualize the injury.
In States 579 here, what's kind of being held back when this photograph is taken for purposes of documentation?
The ear is being pulled back.
And then States 580, is it normal to zoom into gunshot wounds to better be able to see?
Yes.
All right, now here, gunshot wound number 1, what we're looking at in States 580, is this considered an entry or an exit wound?
This is an entry wound.
Right, and how is it that you typically tell the difference between an entry wound versus an exit wound?
An entry wound typically is more ovoid or circular. It has an abrasion border, and the edges cannot be reapproximated.
And an abrasion border, what is an abrasion border?
An abrasion border is created when a bullet enters the wound, or enters the skin and tears the skin around the defect.
And we see some of that here.
Yes.
Right, when you said it can't be reapproximated on an entry wound, do you see an actual hole in the body?
It is like a punched out hole.
And we'll look at an exit later to kind of distinguish it. Now, when you're looking at an entry wound such as this, do you look for possible range of fire indicators?
Yes.
All right, what is a range of fire indicator? What does that mean?
A range of fire indicator are things like soot and stippling or searing around the gunshot wound, which indicate if the wound is close range, contact range, or intermediate range. Soot is basically the soot that is expelled from the muzzle of the gun. Stippling is created when gunpowder particles exit the muzzle of the gun and strike the skin, creating like punctate abrasions. Sometimes there's soot and stippling, but in this case there are no range of fire indicators, which means that the range of fire is indeterminate, which could mean that it is distant range or that there's some intermediate target in between that blocked the range of fire indicators from reaching the skin, such as hair or if a person was shot through a wall or a window.
So do you know for certain in looking at States 580 that we don't have a press contact wound?
Yes.
Okay. But in
I think
terms
she works
of
the
any
night
other
shift.
range of fire indicators, if it's absent, do you label that as indeterminate?
Yes.
Okay. And so here, there's no way to know whether it's 2 feet versus 6 feet.
Yes.
Now, this is an entry wound in States 580 here, where you all was the medical examiner's office able to recover a projectile from Justin Hicks?
Yes.
All right. And where was that found?
The projectile correlating to this entrance wound was recovered from the left posterior neck, so basically the left back of the neck.
Were there photographs taken of this?
Yes.
Okay. And was it also able to be seen through radiology slides so that you could independently see this?
Yes.
All right. States 581 here, what is the purpose or what is being kind of pointed to in States 581?
This is where the projectile was located under the skin. Sometimes it creates a bulge under the skin or can be palpated.
And then is it customary with your office that when a projectile is recovered, when able, photographs are taken of that as well?
Yes.
Is that what we see in State's Exhibit 582 here?
Yes, this is after the skin is incised and the projectile is visualized.
And then is it also customary with your office to take photographs of the actual projectile once it's removed from someone's body?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 583, is that what's depicted here?
Yes.
All right, and then per the stipulation, we've also put in State's Exhibit 99, is that, are the projectiles actually collected and kept with your office?
Yes, the projectiles are collected as evidence.
I'm sorry, is that 599? 599, yes, which is stipulation number 4. Now, were you able to see for yourself from the radiology slides where within the brain, looking at States 578, this projectile traveled?
The path of travel of this wound is the right temporal scalp, the right temporal bone, the dura, the right temporal lobe, cerebellum, the dura, left occipital bone, and left posterior neck soft tissue.
I'm sorry, the last portion?
Left posterior neck soft tissue.
And what is the effect of striking the right temporal and cerebellum portions of the brain?
This is immediately incapacitating and rapidly lethal.
Immediately incapacitating. And rapidly lethal. And what was the direction from this entry wound at States 578 to where this projectile came to a rest in States 582?
The direction of travel was right to left, downwards, and slightly front to back.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The direction of travel in the anatomic position of the body was right to left, downwards, and slightly front to back.
I'm going to show you what's previously been marked and admitted, which is States Exhibit 221 here. In your expert opinion, would Justin have received this gunshot wound in the area of the living room?
Yes.
And I think you mentioned that this was immediately incapacitating. Would he have had any purposeful movement after receiving this injury?
No.
Now, given where the entry and where the entry wound is and where the bullet was recovered, would it have been possible for him to be actually on the ground, slouched down like this, and receive that wound?
No.
Could he have been standing up and kind of looking back towards this playroom area, or this playroom area or the Christmas tree area when he received this wound?
Yes, it's possible.
Next, I want to go to what you have labeled as as gunshot wound number 2. Where was that located?
This was located on the right upper arm.
Looking at States 584, is that the second gunshot wound?
Yes.
And again, second for documentation purposes. All right, and then zooming into this wound here, looking at States 586, are you able to determine whether that is an entry or an exit?
This is an entry wound.
This kind of bottom area of this wound here, what is that?
That is part of the abrasion border.
And then is the skin also missing in that area?
Yes.
All right, now here, similar to the last wound, did you look for any range of fire indicators?
I did. They were not present or identifiable.
So is that considered indeterminate range?
Yes.
Now in this case, having seen the scene photographs, did he have some clothing on?
He did.
Okay. Can that interfere with any possible range of fire evidence?
Yes.
Now, was there a corresponding exit wound for gunshot wound number 2?
No.
Where was this through the radiology slides that you were able to see? Were you able to see where this bullet traveled from within the body?
The bullet traveled from the right upper arm soft tissue, the right axillary soft tissue, which is the armpit area, and passing through important vessels, the axillary artery and vein, and then came to rest in the right chest soft tissue.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
And then it came to rest in the right chest soft tissue.
So looking at states 587 here, did the bullet go kind of, I guess, upwards so that it went through the armpit, or stayed in the body through the armpit and then came to rest at the chest wall?
Yes, it stayed within the body.
And was that bullet able to be retrieved from the body?
Yes.
Is that what's documented in states 588 here?
Yes.
Was that also contained in the same bag of states 599 as evidence removed from Justin's body?
Yes.
What was the direction of travel for that second gunshot wound?
In the anatomic position, the projectile or the gunshot wound traveled right to left and slightly upwards.
Now, would this have been lethal?
It's potentially lethal without medical intervention.
And what is the major concern, if it were just this injury, what would have been like the major concern as to why this could be lethal?
Perforation of the axillary artery and vein.
Is that a rather large artery and vein?
It is a major vessel, both of them.
Does that end up resulting in blood loss?
Yes.
How does he not have a serious kink in his neck?
And then the final gunshot wound, is that number 3?
Yes.
Looking at states 589 here, wait a minute, let's look at states 590 first. What side of the body are we looking at?
This is the right aspect of the abdomen.
Okay. Is this kind of near like the side of the ribs?
Yes.
And looking at states 592, is that a zoomed in photograph of the same gunshot wound?
Yes.
Right. And once again, what do we see kind of towards the side and bottom of this gunshot wound?
The abrasion border.
Now, were there any range of fire indicators?
No.
Would this wound have also been covered by clothing?
Yes.
Now, with this particular wound, was there a corresponding exit wound?
There was.
And where was the exit wound?
The exit wound was more on the front side of the abdomen, near the belly button.
Looking at states 593 here, is that the exit wound?
Yes.
And then looking at states 594, is that the zoomed in version?
Yes.
And are you able, or in theory, able to kind of connect the tissue unlike an entry wound?
Yes.
Now, to get a better idea, if you're looking at states 589, are you able to see both the entry and exit wound in states 589?
Yes.
Did this projectile hit any major arteries?
No.
Was it really just soft tissue for this guy?
It was through soft tissue and did not enter the abdominal cavity.
And what was the direction of travel of this projectile?
Back to front and right to left.
Would this have been, or
it's back to front and right to left.
would this,
Down.
that actually works a lot
Okay.
better. Thank you, Judge. Would this injury, gunshot wound
Oh, they
number
fixed the
3,
mic.
have been independently lethal?
Less potentially lethal if no medical intervention was rendered due to the possibility of possibly getting like an infection or something like that, but it's very low likelihood.
Fair enough. Are all gunshot wounds potentially lethal?
Yes.
If untreated?
Yes.
Okay. Can disease or infection be extremely traumatic?
Yes.
But ultimately, a gunshot wound like this, had he received immediate treatment and not had any other injuries, would this have been survivable?
Yes.
Looking at states 595 here, what are we looking at in states 595?
This is a linear abrasion, like a scrape.
States 596, is that a zoom in of that same scrape?
Yes.
And in your expert opinion, did this appear to be a fresh wound?
Yes.
Did it appear to be around, did it appear to have occurred around the same time as the gunshot wounds?
Yes.
Now, in your expert opinion, could this sort of abrasion have occurred if a child accidentally took like a shard of glass and had it along his father's body?
Yes, it could be caused by that.
circle back to those in a moment here. I will at this time move Tender States 597 into evidence, which is the certified death certificate for Timothy Justin Hicks.
Objection.
No,
Audio is so much better now that she backed off the
Now I
microphone a
want to
bit.
move on to Amber Hicks. How old was Amber Hicks?
She was also 31 years old.
And was she likewise deceased on scene?
Yes.
And did you do the same expert medical review that you did for Timothy Justin Hicks in terms of reviewing the medical examiner investigative report, any scene photographs taken by either the medical examiner's office or Cobb County Police, as well as radiology slides, photographs, and the like?
Yes.
And we've already tendered her photographs by stipulation, so we'll start with States 528 here. Is this the same sort of documentation of Amber's body bag, case number, and medical seal?
Yes.
States 529, was the seal of her body bag likewise intact?
Yes.
States Exhibit 530, is this the documentation of Amber before she was cleaned and examined?
Yes.
States 531, is this her midsection?
Yes.
And States 532.
The lower half of the body, yes.
I'm sorry.
The lower half of the body.
States 533 here, is this the identification photo that was taken?
Yes.
Now for Amber, how many visible gunshot wounds were seen on her body?
She had 3 entrance gunshot wounds.
And likewise, when you wrote your own report, did you enumerate them for purposes of documentation?
Yes.
All right. So starting with your gunshot wound number 1, which one was that?
This was the entrance wound on the left lower cheek.
Looking at States 534, is that depicted here?
Yes.
All right, and then if we look at States 535 here, and I'll just zoom in on this photograph here, are you able to tell whether this wound was an entry or an exit?
This wound was an entry wound.
Do you see an abrasion border on the left portion of this gunshot wound?
Yes, and the defect is a punched out hole.
Now, was there any rings of fire here?
No.
Was there any corresponding exit wound?
No.
Similar to Justin, was a projectile recovered from her neck area?
Yes.
States Exhibit 537. Is that being documented here?
Yes.
Okay. And looking at States 538, is it normal to have this kind of contusion area where a bullet may have come to rest?
Yes.
States 539, was the bullet then extracted from Amber's neck?
Yes.
And per y'all's normal processes in the medical examiner's office, take photographs of the bullet that was recovered.
Yes.
Is that what we see in States 540?
Yes.
In States 541, just so it's not confusing, is that just the other side of the projectile?
It is.
Right. So just one projectile, just 2 different angles?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. All right. And per the stipulation that I've just read, that would include States 598, which is the physical projectile that was depicted in States 540 and 541. Now, based on the photograph documenting the entry as well as where the bullet was recovered, as well as the radiology slides, were you able to determine where within Amber's head and neck area this bullet traveled?
Yes, the bullet traveled from the left lower cheek and left neck soft tissue, the left carotid artery, left internal jugular vein, the cervical vertebra, including the spinal cord, and then came to rest in the right neck soft tissue.
And hitting things like the left carotid artery, and the jugular vein, and cervical vertebrae, is that lethal?
Yes.
Okay. Is that similar to Justin's head, gunshot wound to his head? Is that immediately incapacitating?
It is.
Is it rapidly lethal?
Yes.
Would she have been instantly paralyzed?
Yes.
What was the direction? And I know from the anatomical position, what would the direction have been?
Front to back, left to right, and downward.
Now, whenever you are documenting trajectory, is it important for consistency to document an anatomical position?
It is.
Can some of those directions kind of change depending on the actual orientation of the body at the time that it was struck with gunfire?
Yes.
In this particular case, looking at stage 534, if her head was turned towards her right shoulder, could the gunfire have come from the right side of her body and penetrating her kind of from left to right? Does that question make sense?
Yes.
Going back, well, got a picture here.
Nate, the lawyer, posted an update on Twitter. I just reposted it. The brain tumor he's got is massive. Going to go under in surgery on Wednesday.
Looking at stage 244 here, which has already been tendered and admitted. In your expert opinion, would Amber's body have been really in the same position, meaning where her torso was, her bottom and her legs, when she was shot in the head?
Yes.
Okay. Now, could her upper portion of the body been kind of at least a little more upright?
Yes, she could have slumped over after being shot.
Okay. But ultimately was kind of the bottom of her body in the same exact position?
Yes, most likely. I said yes, most likely.
She does not like repeating herself. Yeah.
All right, gunshot wound number 2, or how you document it as number 2. Where is that gunshot wound?
This was on the right forearm.
Looking at stage 545 here, is this the gunshot wound number 2?
Yes.
Okay. And zooming in here of states, let's do states 547. On the top part of her forearm, was that an entry or an exit?
This is an entry wound.
And can you see some of that abrasion border on the right side?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any sort of range of fire indicators?
No.
Given that we have photographs with her in a t-shirt, does that mean it's likely not going to be close range?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. And if it's not close range, what is the general kind of estimate as to at least X number of feet away?
I'd say at least like 6 feet away.
Now, did you have a corresponding exit wound for this entry wound?
Yes.
And where was that located?
On the other side of the forearm.
States 548 here, is that what we're looking at?
Yes.
And states 550, is this the zoomed in version?
Yes.
All right, now here, in states 550, does this resemble at all an entry wound?
There are features of an entry wound, such as, actually, no, it looks like an exit wound.
Well, let me ask you this. What is a short exit wound?
A short exit wound is when the skin is pressed up against something, so sometimes it can have features of an entry wound, such as an abrasion border. However, this one has more features of both, I guess you could say. There is an abrasion border, but it is very irregular and the edges can't be put together, so it's more similar to a exit wound.
Okay. Sometimes when there's features of both, do you call it short exit wounds?
Yes.
All right. Now, when in order to obtain a short exit wound, could the support come from another part of someone's body?
Yes.
Now, for this particular wound here, did it hit anything major, any bones or anything?
It did not.
Okay, so is this just skin, soft tissue?
Yes.
Typically, is this kind of less likely to be lethal if there's, just less likely to be lethal?
It is less likely to be lethal.
Now, we'll go back to that in just a moment. But where's the third gunshot wound?
The third gunshot was on the right thigh.
Looking at states 552 here, are we able to see the entry wound?
Yes.
Now, with respect, and can you also see the exit?
Yes.
Okay. And with respect to these two wounds, is it a little bit difficult to tell which one is an entry versus exit?
Yes.
Looking at the close-up of the wound here on, the wound here on her thigh, is that what we see in states 554?
Yes.
Okay. To some degree, does it look like you could potentially push the skin back together?
To some degree, yes.
Then looking at states 555, are you now focused on the exit here?
Yes.
All right, states 558, is that a zoomed in photograph of that exit?
Yes.
And is that slightly irregular as well?
Yes.
Do either of these give any indication of potentially short entry or exit wounds?
No.
Did this strike anything within her body?
It also went through the soft tissue of the thigh.
And is this kind of not as likely to be lethal given that it's skin and soft tissue?
It's less likely to be lethal.
Now, with these wounds, were trajectory rods used to help look at the direction of travel?
Yes.
So now I want to look at those. Well, actually, let me do this first. Did she have any other abrasions or marks on her body?
She did.
Okay, and where was that?
There was a rather large abrasion on her abdomen.
Looking at states 560, is that what we see here?
Yes.
Right, and then is there a zoomed in photograph in states 561?
Yes.
Okay, and here, did any sort of bullet penetrate her skin or go into her abdomen area?
No.
Now, was clothing also documented in the autopsy process?
Yes.
All right, states 562 here, this firefighter shirt, is that the kind of like view of the entirety of the front of the shirt?
Yes.
Okay. States 563, what is the purpose of using little green arrows?
The arrows point out defects that are present in the shirt.
States 564, is that kind of just zooming into those defects there?
Yes.
Now, given the crime scene photos that you were able to review, as well as these photographs showing the injuries to her body, how did these defects in states 563 correspond to the general area of the abrasion that we saw in states 561?
The defects are generally overlying this abrasion.
Now, generally, if a bullet were to not hit anything and directly hit a human stomach, is that going to penetrate the skin?
Generally, yes.
For it to not penetrate the skin, what does that tell you?
That the bullet has slowed down significantly.
Now, even if a bullet were to travel through skin and soft tissue and not strike any bones or anything major, can that still slow down the momentum of a bullet?
It can.
Looking now to the photos with the trajectory rods, looking at states 551, is this kind of the how gunshot wound 2 entry and exit correspond to one another?
Yes.
All right, looking at states 559 here, does the trajectory rod show how gunshot wound 3 entry and exit correspond to one another?
Yes.
Is it possible that gunshot wound 2 and 3 actually correspond to one another?
It is very possible.
Is it possible that gunshot wound 2 and 3 is actually the result of a single bullet?
It is possible.
In your expert opinion, if Amber were kind of curled up in a ball with using her hands to kind of support her knees, is it possible that the bullet could have entered her forearm, exited her inner forearm, entered the outer thigh, exited the inner thigh, and struck her stomach?
Yes.
If she was in that particular position and the bullet actually went in and out of her body twice, in your expert opinion, would that allow for the bullet to lose momentum?
Definitely.
And could that account for why if the bullet did not penetrate her skin in State's Exhibit 560?
Yes.
Is that possibility even more likely given the two defects that are on her shirt in States 564 and 565?
Yes.
Looking at States 273 and 274, which were previously admitted, have you previously seen these photographs, States 273 and States 274?
I have.
Okay. And looking at the location of this projectile, could this projectile have been responsible for gunshot wound 2 and 3?
Yes.
If this single projectile that we see in States 274 entered the outer forearm, exited the inner forearm, entered the outer thigh, and exited the inner thigh and struck her stomach, would it have lost enough momentum to just lie still on the couch?
Yes.
Okay, as opposed to penetrating the couch?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know normally, well, let me ask you this. Normally, do you all give expert opinions as to order of gunfire?
In some cases, if it's possible to determine.
Okay, in this particular case, just focusing on Amber right now, is it possible to predict the order of gunfire?
It is.
And so which gunshot would have come first?
The gunshot wound, the right forearm, which exits and then re-enters the right thigh.
And why is it that we know that one where she's curled up in a ball would have come before the gunshot wound to the head?
Because the gunshot wound to the head would have struck her spinal cord and she would no longer have any muscular movement and be able to hold her legs up.
Looking at States 243 here, in order for gunshot wounds 2 and 3, so the forearm and the thigh, would the shooter have been standing on this side of Amber, meaning on the right side of her body?
Yes.
I think this doctor is saving all our energy for the next autopsy. I'm sure those can be exhausting.
Looking at States 221 here. So in your expert opinion, looking at Justin and Amber combined, how many gunshots did they suffer in total?
At least 5.
And no more than how many?
No more than 6.
Okay, so if it were 5, is that accounting for Amber's gunshot wounds number 2 and 3 to correspond?
Yes.
Okay. If those did not actually correspond, is that how you would end up with 6?
Yes.
Okay. With respect to Justin's 3 gunshot wounds, what was the direction of all 3 of Justin's gunshot wounds?
Right to left.
Now, given that they were all obtained on the right side of the body going towards the left side, is it reasonable in your expert opinion that he's standing in this area and peering over towards the area of the Christmas tree when he was shot?
It's possible, yes.
Now, given your testimony that he would have immediately been incapacitated, particularly with the gunshot wound to his head, would the shooter have been somewhere in the area between his playroom and perhaps the midsection of the couch?
Yes.
Now, is there any evidence that Amber was able to make any significant movements from where she was originally to when she was shot?
No.
Based on your expert opinion and having looked at this case, what would the last shot for both Justin and Amber have been?
The last shot of both victims would be in the head.
Is that because they would have both been immediately incapacitating and rapidly lethal?
Yes, they would have dropped and stayed stationary and were there laying down.
And what was the cause and manner of death for both Timothy Justin Hicks and Amber Hicks?
Gunshot wounds.
And what was the manner of death for both Timothy Justin Hicks and Amber Hicks?
Homicide.
This kind of state moves to Tender States 568 into evidence, which is the certified death certificate for Amber Hicks.
Objection. Okay. 6568 is admitted.
And are gunshot wounds listed as the cause of death on both of these certified death certificates that were issued by Dr. Jessamars?
Yes.
And were both deaths ruled to be homicides in these certified death certificates?
Yes.
All the questions I'll leave it right there.
Are you ready? You may proceed.
I have a couple questions for her.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
Doctor, when was the first time that you had an opportunity to look at this case?
I briefly reviewed it before preparing my medical expert review some number of months ago when I received the subpoena for the case.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm having a hard time figuring out what you say. I'm old and I can't hear real well, and you kind of slur a little bit. Tell me the date that you first started.
You kind of slur a little bit.
I don't remember the exact date.
Okay. Would it have been this year?
Yes, this year.
Would it have been in the last 2 months?
Somewhere in the last 2 to 3 months, yes.
Okay. And you told us earlier that there was an investigator with your office that did a report.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did the investigator go to the scene before Mr. and Ms. Hicks were taken from the scene?
Yes.
Did he do any measurements?
No.
Okay. And did he document by photograph any of the areas that we've been talking about?
Yes.
Okay. What areas did he photograph?
He photographed the bodies and the room in which the bodies were found.
Okay. And the photograph of the living room looking back towards where the Christmas tree is, did his photograph show that there was a gate, a white gate, in between those two rooms?
Yes.
Okay. You never had an opportunity to go to the scene, right?
No.
I want to talk just a little bit about the gunshot wounds. And you said a number of times that's possible that happened. And there are a lot of things that are possible that happen in gunshot wounds, isn't there?
Yes.
Okay, and it really kind of depends on the movement of the body.
Yes.
Okay. And it depends on where the person doing the shooting might be standing.
Yes.
In this particular case, can you determine whether the person was moving from one area of the house to the other when the shots were fired?
There is a reasonable likelihood that the shooter started more on the right, or the entryway of the room, and made his way kind of more further into the room.
Well, when you look at the photographs from where the Christmas tree is, the little room there, can you see the person sitting on the couch?
No.
When you're in that room? So the person would have to get past that room in order to be able to see Ms. Hicks sitting on the couch.
Yes.
Okay. So they would have had to not fire from there. They would have had to move on into the home.
Yes.
Could you tell whether they moved far enough to get over the gate?
If you're speaking about the gate that is in the room adjacent to where Mr. and Mrs. Hicks were, then yes, he would have moved past that gate.
Okay. Now I want to ask you on Mr. Hicks, you told us about a scrape that you saw on his inner thigh.
Yes.
The state asked you if that could be from a piece of glass.
Yes.
Was there any photograph that you saw, either from your investigator or from any of the police photographs, where there's a piece of glass close to that scrape?
No, not immediately near the scrape.
Okay. What else could have caused that scrape other than a piece of glass?
Anything with a pointed edge or sharp edge.
Okay. You're not suggesting that the person doing the shooting scraped in any way, correct?
It's unknown how that scrape occurred.
Okay. Could be from fingernails.
Could be.
Okay. Did you check under Mr. Hicks' fingernails to see if maybe he scratched himself on the way down?
I looked at photographs of the hands, but I didn't see any indication of tissue under his fingernails.
And the state asked you about the first gunshot wound to Mr. Hicks, and you said it was down on front to back and looking right. Is that correct?
The first gunshot wound for Mr. Hicks?
This first gunshot wound for Mr. Hicks.
Yes, right to left, downwards, and slightly front to back.
Okay. And on that particular gunshot, the state was asking you, wouldn't he be looking to the right? And it would really kind of depend, he would have to look way to the right in order to get shot on the right side, right?
Well, if his body was turned facing the entryway, it would be rather easy to...
It's right in this area, he would have to turn pretty far to the right, wouldn't he, in order to get that gunshot?
This is the right.
So would he be looking straight, or would he be looking to the right, or looking
He's
to the
using the
left?
wrong right.
If he's trying to face the right side and his body is turned to the right side, he doesn't have to angle his head that much to get a shot in the right side of the head.
And it would depend also on where the person doing the shooting was standing.
Yes.
You told us that you believe that there would be 5 gunshots, but there possibly could be 6.
Yes.
Did you see any of the photographs that would indicate that there was any blood spatter, any patterns of blood spatter?
I didn't see any significant amounts of blood at the scene.
Okay. Just want to ask you, when one fires a gun, is there gunshot residue that might be on their hands?
Yes.
Okay. How long would that residue stay on their hands?
It's unknown. It depends on if the person washed their hands afterwards.
Is it likely that it would be on their hands after 2 or 3 days?
It's possible. I'm not sure.
Do you know whether anyone tested Matthew's hands, see if he had any residue on them?
I don't know anything about that.
And you didn't see any cuts at all on either Mr. or Ms. Hicks' feet, like they may have stepped in glass or that moving around where the glass was, correct?
No, I did not see any injuries like that.
All right. I think that's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any follow-up redirect?
Please no.
No, Your Honor.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you. Attorneys approach.
Attorneys, please approach. We're going to see if we can zoom any more. I think we're all caught up. So yeah, we're caught up. Which means we get to wait. It's 4:30. Think we might be done for the day. It's quite likely. Depends what the next witness is. The defendant has done very little by way of conversing with his lawyer and does not seem to be involved in any way with the defense or the trial, for that matter. What did he make me? Oh, snickerdoodle?
Was it good for real?
It's really good.
Was it good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it though, just to make sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
My wife made me a cookie. Bug Dugger, that is great news. That one was delicious. It was really, really good.
Okay. All right, we are going to recess for the day and start back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Can we open up at 8:30? All right, we'll open up at 8:30 for the attorneys and for media to get set up so that we can start right at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll be ready to start at 9 a.m. tomorrow. All right. Is there anything we need to put on the record before we are excused for the afternoon?
Not for the state.
All right.
Please fix the audio.
Until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Everyone have a good evening and be safe. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. We'll stand in recess.
Defendant just gets up and goes, no talking to his lawyer. That's so good. Man, that's so good. All right. Turn that off. We're going to keep that saved with exactly the way we had it set up so that we don't have any problems with audio tomorrow. It was terrible. Let me just say, it was absolutely terrible. It sounds like we're using a kick drum microphone. We're using a kick drum microphone to pick up sound bouncing off a flat surface next to an overdriven speaker. It is so bad. It's really bad. Like we might have to, I would rather read the trial transcript than continue. We're going to stick with it a little bit. Hopefully it gets a little better tomorrow. All right. It is a bench trial. No jury. No jury. Struggled with that last witness. She did not seem very excited to testify. Between her very slow blinks and her speaking like this, that was right into the microphone, and overdriven the microphone too. It made it difficult. I may have a nightmare tonight, audio-wise. Anyway, so we do think this will be about a week-long trial, so it's good. You learned a new term today, appendix carry. Yep. I used to. I'm not a big fan of that, especially if you have to drive. It's not comfortable for me. Of course, it varies based on the size of the gun. There are certain models that are more comfortable to carry, and generally the larger and wider the frame, typically the less comfortable they are to carry concealed in any position. Inside the waistband. Yep. I like a good high ride with a forward tilt. Just a leather holster. That's a nice one. There's no restraints on that one, so it's not like a police carry. With it has to be drawn a certain way. But I did like that way a lot. That was my preferred method of carry. All right. Do we know why No, I don't think we will either. I don't think we're going to find out at all, which is going to be really frustrating. But at the same time, what answer would we accept as like, oh, that makes sense, because there isn't one, really. This is terrible. His defendant's parents in the courtroom. I don't know. There are people on both sides, and they appear to be on different sides. Like they're supporting. I would say the defendant has representation in the courtroom. I think his lawyer is private. It's paid. I do think his family possibly supported him in various things, like possibly his car and his, spending money. Doesn't come across as someone who's, work hard long summers to pay for school and all that. Driving the Lexus, got his Gucci Glock. Yeah, doesn't look like it. He was the neighbor. Just behind the victim's house, like one house over, was his parents' house, which he was sort of living in or something like that. I haven't figured out the whole setup there. He was supposed to be there, and then he's supposed to show up, and then he drove there, parked in the driveway, and then just didn't come in the house, and then the murder happened and he left. So, yeah, I've got questions. Hopefully we'll get some answers on that one. But appendix is like 1 to 2 o'clock on a clock. Yeah, if your belly button's 12, right? Belly button's 12 o'clock. Appendix is 1 to 2. Let's see. Did a little 6 o'clock carry in my day. I've done that. He was in school in Athens, I thought, came home for the weekend. Yes, came home to the parents' house. It's about an 80-mile drive. Came home but didn't, show up or come in. And then the murder happened, and he left. And then there's this other thing that happened that shall not be named in this courtroom that that he happens to be in contact with the police for some reason or another, and they like, his home address is listed right next to this other murder. Maybe we should look at him for that. Yeah, like that. So they are done for the day. We're done for the day. Tiffany, that is so hard. I was telling Mrs. R.A. about it. She's like, oh, man, that was difficult. All right. A lot of catch up. I would do the condensed version. The audio on this has been difficult. It's been difficult. Even the best work I can do on it is still difficult to deal with. There's high-pitched whines and squeals and oscillations and just terrible sound all around. So, want to know the beef with the two old neighbors? I think that might be the closest thing we get to a motive, really. Did he steal anything? No, nothing was stolen. There were guns, a gun at least, out in the open, high on the shelf where the 2-year-old couldn't get it, but it wasn't touched. Yeah, just really crazy. The first witness, listen to that one. Definitely, that was the victim's dad, the husband's dad. That was a tough one. All right, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning. We'll be live by 8:45. Rhymed that I didn't mean to, because we'll start court at 9 a.m. So be here for that. We'll sing the birthday song. If it's your birthday, you should already be on the form. Just saying. You should already have entered your information on the form so the mods are not buried with last-minute requests. But, either way, let us know. We'll sing to y'all, and then we'll get started in court. So tomorrow's Tuesday. We made it all the way through the Monday. You guys have a great, great evening. There's the form for you if you need a late ad. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Because he's the guy.